Welcome to the Adventures in Jir'Haniya, which we should call it the Adventures in Josh's backlog of video editing that has to get done. But we are jumping into the War of the Reefs, which, regardless of the pace at which I complete the video editing, this has been an amazing campaign. I'm so excited to see where this goes. So, as a quick recap, since it's been a hot minute in real life time since we played, last time you guys left the town of Dinlower after meeting a Harengon who had been part of hiring the assassins who confronted you all before Castan went and built the lovely, fertile farmland in memory of the slain captain of the guard. And so you found a contact who was a small Harengon mercenary in a tavern, and you all went to using disguise and multiple layers of deception, going to claim your reward for this treasure. Along the way, you guys did manage to you like gave her like a sketchy like underwater breathing potion,
Yeah,
and it made her sick. Yeah,
the one we got from what's his name when we got the other breathing potion from
Was it
Orvi.
Yeah.
Orvi. Yeah. So
Like, here's a sketchy one. We're like, let's see what it does.
Yep, and so she got very ill, and you guys managed to save her from being like badly poisoned or having her life in any danger. But you left her unconscious on the way to this seaside cove where you were going to meet her contact. And when you got there, I believe it was Charles who called it ahead of time. It was a swarm of crabs in a cloak, stacked atop each other.
I still feel so bad about that.
It's okay. I was like, someone's gonna anticipate it, but so of course it came to fisticuffs, which you all resoundingly won, even with their tiny little poison spears they were throwing at you. So you managed to fight that swarm of crabs who were chanting war cries about their alliance, and Dallatar is with you all, saying, these are the emissaries of the group that's been terrorizing his homeland. So we ended things there in that seaside cove, and we'll start right there. Yes.
I'm also going to add that I'm the only one who took damage in that fight, and it's because I tried to eat one of them.
That's right. That's right. Oh yeah, because so in addition to the crabs, there were two mantis shrimp with them.
Yeah.
Who have the little like tiny punches that can get really fast, and they were kind of like electrified, and so Charles ate one and took some damage from.
Well, all it did was wipe out my temporary hit points. So it was.
So you're like, I'm okay, but that was a gamble in terms of eating that. So.
Yeah.
One snack to nullify the other.
Okay. Yeah.
So that
that
encapsulates last session pretty well. Is that your temporary hit points were lost by eating a slain mantis shrimp after fighting a stack of crabs in a trench coat. That encapsulates last session pretty well. So
yep.
They were trying to hurt me because I'm using turtle as a hat.
Yes.
I'm gonna start just bagging some of these crabs and shrimp.
I know some spells were dealt fire damage or bludgeoning damage, so you're not able to collect too many intact corpses for potential shellfish making later. Yes.
Yeah. I'll figure it out.
For potential dinner purposes.
I will feast upon our enemies.
That's gonna be our whole thing, isn't it?
Oh my god, yeah.
We ate those birds.
Wow.
I'll start casting Detect Magic while we're kind of looking through this cave while Berkus is gathering shellfish.
Okay. I assume you ritual cast that as you guys are gathering. So after a couple minutes, so as you're casting it, I'll tell you what you find momentarily. But first, as you're ritual casting it, Castan, do you have Speak with Animals currently active? Or would you upon hearing? Okay. So Dallatar, the turtle on your head.
The answer to that question should always be yes.
Okay. I will log that assumption for in perpetuity. So Dallatar is kind of going, you guys are amazing. You guys are going to save our homeland. You guys fought those crabs like it was nothing. You are amazing.
Well, I think it's just an unfair fight. More so than that we're amazing, but we're happy to help.
Good. They've been terrorizing our homeland, and they have all kinds of crazy technology and powers, so it's felt like an unfair fight for us. So now
What
that
do you
it's an
mean by
unfair fight for
powers?
them, I'm so glad. I don't know. They can just do things that don't make any sense with nature. I'm so glad you guys are here to help.
Mm.
What do you think
What are we
do
walking
weird things
into?
with nature? Yeah.
Well,
Druid
as that's
crap.
I
happening, Tide finishes completing his spell, and you detect magic. You are able to feel kind of a remnant on the little tiny like toothpick spears that the crabs were using. They did have some kind of like poison or acid tips on them, and it looks like those were not applied through traditional means, but through magic. Um, so they were magically altered weapons, and then a few of the crabs seem to have spells that fall into the schools of like evocation and like restoration. So it seems like some of these have learned to cast magic, which is quite unusual that small animals would be able to do so.
You said is the magic on those toothpicks, are they still active?
Yes, it looks like they weren't cast very well, so they are slowly like dissipating
Oh,
and their magical potency is degrading. But yeah, if you were to like prick yourself with one of those right now, it would deal some either, depending on which one you grabbed, either
but I
some
can't have
poison
like
or acid
shenanigans in
damage.
like a week though.
If you found some way to magically stabilize the spells on the tips of them, perhaps.
I'm gathering the toothpicks.
Okay.
Are you gonna like blow dart them at people?
Yeah.
Hey, I own a bar. Like, if there's someone who's just being a jerk in the bar,
Give a little thing of toothpicks. Be like, oh, can I have a toothpick? Not those.
I love it.
unless they've been a problem. Oh no, specifically take one of those.
Yeah.
Actually, Veracus, can you roll me an Arcana check, please?
Sure.
You can try.
It's always a good answer.
8.
I get a -1 to my Arcana.
Sounds
Okay.
reasonable.
I am not smart.
So with an 8, you are not sure how to prolong the effects of these. So
Can I
yeah,
take a gander at them since I'm looking at them?
you certainly can. And actually, because you have detect magic active, please roll your Arcana at advantage.
Fantastic. Guidancing myself. Dope.
Oh, and really quick, I forgot to change our names. Let me do that.
24.
Oh, so with a 24, you absolutely are able to figure that out. So give me 1 second here. All right, perfect.
Can I tell if they tried to do some kind of like a Melf's acid arrow, like an enhanced weapon, can I tell what was tried to be casted here at
Yes.
a critter level?
With that high of a roll, first off, you can tell that based on the magic, if you were to cast Druidcraft or Prestidigitation, you could kind of halt the degradation of the magic, and so you could preserve that magical effect. I mean, these things do 1 piercing damage, and then they do like 1d4 -1 of either acid or poison, so they're not super. Yes, they're crab-sized weapons. But Ty, you are able to tell that it seems like they were using artificer level infusions, and it seems like what they did was that they did such an infusion on some larger object and then like dipped these into it, and that's why it's just kind of a tiny little coating
So
from whatever that origin spell was.
That thing is still active.
Somewhere, correct. And
Somewhere.
it's not within your range of detect magic, so it's not anywhere nearby. Yeah.
But I know what it feels like, so if I come up across it later, I should be able to recognize it.
Yes, you could be like, oh, this is the source of the deadly toothpicks. Yes.
Deadly
my mage hand brings them over to you, wrapped in a little, here you go.
The slightly
nice.
poisoned toothpicks. Yes. So
How many are there?
you would have recovered 16.
A little pack.
16.
They're still in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I have this.
It slides out. No.
Right. I just have this visual of like if we're like sitting in a town, there's just someone that we're just really frustrated with, or we're like tracking someone. I can just like flick it at them.
Yeah.
Imagine
Get a
these
little
shrimps
rubber
had
band.
like a quiver that was like a
Yeah.
matchbook,
Yeah.
and then they like open the matchbook and pull out one of these things.
With their multiple claws, just
I mean, that could be pretty cool.
could be.
And
Maybe I'll
terrifying.
have to suddenly have like the
I
arc
feel like there
crab.
could be a
It's just like a
SpongeBob
big armor.
episode, like a SpongeBob episode where they're
Like
at war for
Grievous.
some reason, like
Yeah.
east side versus west side of Bikini Bottom.
Yes.
Are we going to Bikini Bottom?
We can now. I'm kind of mad that I didn't think of that beforehand because I grew up loving SpongeBob, and I actually worked on the second SpongeBob movie, so I should be making SpongeBob references
That's
all day.
wild.
You see,
That's
uh,
cool.
You see a pineapple, a stonehead, a rock, and off in the distance a glass dome.
Yes. We don't talk
Who
about the
lives-
glass though.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
All right.
A bunch of shrimp.
The one who has brought magic into the world. No.
Tiny little like sponge comes like wiggling out.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real
Beware.
sponge.
Beware his war cry. Ah!
It's a sponge that had awakened cast on it.
I was gonna say, like, this is the one time that Justin turns off his speak with animals.
No.
Yes, the crabs learned magic, and they went to figure out who can guide them as they learn about this their new place in the world. And they went and talked to Patrick, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, go attack the reef, I guess." Well, as the DM has many things to consider about how to make this funnier now, you all have finished casting detect magic. You've gathered 16 of these slightly enhanced toothpicks, tiny crab spears. And Verkus, can you actually roll me a survival or investigation as you gather crab corpses for food purposes?
Young survival. 24.
Cool. So you gather 12 like body weights worth of crab body weights worth of like usable crab meat that
Okay.
was not crispified or smashed to pieces.
It's gonna get nice and briny in the water, and we come back topside. It's gonna be real good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything in the cave?
No, because we had it where there was talk of a
Deception.
treasure, yes, and I think there was a scroll, but I'm trying to remember. I should have checked this before. Did I give you guys? There wasn't a map or anything legitimate, but was there a
There was a little. Oh, never mind. There was a little
was like-
Yankee. Oh, that was from the Harangon.
The scroll was like a note saying there was a treasure, but it is no more, or something like that.
Oh,
that's right.
Scrawled in
That's right.
crab writing. Yeah.
That's right. And yeah, you guys did find, so back before kind of the recap, those 3 assassins who attacked you, there was the crazy halfling whose name escapes me, and then there was the dragon
Gorm the Nimble or something.
Gorn the Nimble.
Gorn the Nimble, that's right. And then there was the chill dragonborn who you guys were able to kind of broker a peace with. And he's gonna go and possibly find a more peaceful, sustainable lifestyle thanks to Eremos. And then there was the Gith Yankee who was killed in the fight. And he had that symbol on him that you found.
The grip of loss is coming.
Yep. And then there was also talk from I forget if it was Gorn or the Harangon about was it a hobgoblin warlord nearby?
That was the Harangon.
That was the Harangon, right. So
Yeah,
there is
that piques my interest.
Yes, Castan.
I need to run to grab breakfast since we woke up so late.
You're good?
Tide will be running Kestan until I get back.
Okay, sounds good. No worries.
I start talking to the turtle.
Yes.
Just mumbling.
10 out of 10.
turtle speak. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So
I was like, I start
we-
talking to the turtle.
So we absolutely demolished these guys out here, but will they have more of an advantage under the water? What do you guys think?
Most likely, they'll be able to get around faster.
If they're small.
But I think that if it's gonna be a lot more. I mean, this is only what they sent up here, so probably that might not be difficult, but there'll be a lot.
Yeah.
Not to mention whatever else they've managed to come up with. If these tiny little toothpicks are an indication of what's to come, it could be good, or it could be some real unstable magic going on down there, which could also be dangerous in its own way.
With that in mind, I'm actually going to, because that's a really good point. I'm going to shift Tavusa. I'm gonna change Tavusa into being able to deal.
Real quick before you decide, would I know magical lightning, how it travels through water?
That's what I'm wondering right now too.
So like I know that like you electrify water, it affects the water, but like does magical lightning have a different effect? Like if it's like a lightning bolt, like if it's coated on a weapon.
So when you're in the ocean, any electrification is going to have a much larger amplified area of effect. But it will still have like a termination limit of how far it can go. Magical ones, I think the only difference really would be that you could concentrate it to a more specific area. Because actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and if you guys know electricity better than I do in real life, please chime in if I'm incorrect, but wouldn't like if you had like a small wet surface that you had contact with and someone applied electricity, pretty much all that electricity would go through the water into you and you would feel the full voltage or whatever. Whereas if you were like if you were in a bathtub, that would be the same thing. Like that's where the dropping a toaster in the bathtub thing comes from. But like if you were in the open ocean, wouldn't it, because there's so much more water to dissipate that electric charge, wouldn't it lower the intensity of what you experienced?
It gets diluted slightly.
Okay.
And then the salinity of the salt, I believe, also has an impact on it.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since chemistry class.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say I don't know this either. I'm looking up one spell thing really quick that's relevant. But I'm gonna Google that. Actually, if one of you guys, while I'm looking up
I'm already Googling it. I'm ready.
You're the man. Thank you. Let's find out. Let's find out.
Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna have Tavusa be cold.
Okay.
So
you could freeze water around you potentially with that.
Yeah. So
and I mean it would melt fairly quick, but that's awesome.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Sweet.
Because my thought is if I'm making our weapons electric, that's gonna hurt us quite a bit.
Yes, potentially, for sure.
And that only takes me. Oh, it only takes me an action to do that change. But I can't do it again until my next long rest.
Okay, good to know.
Yep.
Most electrical discharge radiates across the surface where the greatest risk occurs. But the risk radius is around 6 meters from the strike, but it can extend up to 100 meters.
100 meters? That's far.
It says it can. I'm assuming depending on how much lightning there is.
Okay.
So no lightning.
So like
I feel like at best it would probably cause like maybe like a dome or like a radius of extra effects. Maybe I don't know if that would also.
I figured
affect
it
the
would
caster.
Be spherical, but I think if it was kind of radiating from a single point in a sphere, it would hit everyone within that sphere. But if it was magical lightning, I would say that you'd be able to kind of focus and shape it more because it's magical.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was just wondering because, like, if I would like, because my shocking grasp is centered on my hand, Tarvusa would be, spitting the lightning out at your weapon, and then you'd be walking around with like an electrically charged item.
Yeah, like basically walking around with a stun baton. So,
but I was like, if it's magical, like, you could keep it on your blade.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the cold. I feel like that gives us a little more, because like if anything that also creates like a push off point for me if I want to use like Zephyr Strike. I don't think I can use it too well if I'm swimming.
Your swimming speed's half your walking, right?
Right. So if I can add like a kickoff point, that might help my Zephyr Strike a bit.
I'd say if you underwater plans.
We are.
I have an idea in terms of mobility, if that's what we're talking about.
Yes, let's hear
one thing I was thinking about. We were mainly talking about lightning damage underwater.
Oh.
But mobility is a concern of mine.
Yeah.
We could combo it if we ever
I
need
like
to.
that a lot, Rex. I like that damage dropping off with distance from the initial target.
Mm-hmm.
I could, so if we need ever need mobility in a way, and if we can manage it, let me know, because I could create little frozen pallets for you guys to push off against,
Nice.
like with shape water.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's true.
I'd say based on you're not anywhere near the equator of this world, so the water's not super warm. But if you were to like freeze the water, it would probably, that frozen segment, depending on size, would melt within, between like a minute to like 20 minutes, depending on the size of the frozen object or the frozen amount of water. So if one of you wanted to kick off of that, I would have it where you roll an athletics check and
Oh shit.
you would add half of that, whatever that total was, you'd add half of that to your movement speed. Does that sound good? So like if you rolled a dirty 20, you'd get an extra 10 feet of swim movement from that athletics bouncing off it,
Oh no, totally fair. That's not great for Veracruz. Totally fair.
100% athletics, yeah.
Because that dirty 20 for Veracruz is a natural 20 because I
Could
have
you do-
nothing to athletics.
Could you do acrobatics?
Yeah.
Would you allow that?
I don't know how that...
I'd say underwater that
You sure?
yeah.
Like you're swimming, like the swim
so like
statics or whatnot.
if you were trying to like use the water to press off and lift something, I would restrict that to athletics. But if it was simply for your own movement within the water, I would say that angles and velocity could do just as much as your strength applied against the frozen object. So I would allow it to be acrobatics or athletics.
That's fair. Okay.
So you're gonna look real graceful going in around that water.
Right.
Water dancer.
Did anyone else have any other questions for myself or for Dallatar in character about potential underwater environmental effects going in?
This is so where we're at, because I know we're kind of at like a river area. Is this
actually it's like a cove and you're on a seaside?
That's right. So yeah, okay, we're seaside.
Yes.
Do we I should have done a lot of thinking about this, a lot more thinking than I did.
That's how I feel most sessions, and I'm just kidding. Like I should have watched a couple episodes of SpongeBob to prep for this.
Amos is a lot bigger.
I know, right? They're getting big.
They are getting big. When we cast or when we take that water breathing potion, are we able to speak underwater as well?
Yeah, we would. Okay. That would have been implied in the magic of it.
Okay, just making sure because all my spells have verbal components.
Yeah. And
with those, it makes sense because I can regularly breathe underwater and I can cast magic underwater.
Exactly. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured if it's a magical thing giving you the ability to take in oxygen from the water, it would also allow you to expel sound waves, Okay. So I think the range at which you can be heard would be impacted, but you'd still be able to speak and stuff. Yeah. So sweet.
Let's chug these potions and go for a swim.
You guys ready?
You guys chug these potions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tide's just like, I am good.
I think I'll link arms with Tide and then we'll pencil dive in.
I love going in the water.
Yeah. I'll throw back my water breathing potion.
Cool. As Dallatar leaves his little strap on your head and starts swimming with you guys, he goes, "Yay, it's good to be back in the water. Oh, this feels so great."
You jump in. My owl flies over, and I'm going to use my use of Find Familiar for the day, and it's going to turn into a squid in the air and then just like fall.
The beginning of Cloverfield. No. Awesome. Or the end of Cloverfield, whatever. Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah. So you have your octopus nearby. I figure Tavusa with scales is able to move pretty easy underwater, right?
I figure because I'm kind of grabbing onto one of his. I imagine as Tavusa takes on the cold piece, there's almost like that dorsal fin
Yeah,
within the scales, and I'm gripping one of those.
nice.
Still considered small, but I feel like that can at least propel me a little bit.
Sure.
Up to you.
No, I think so for sure.
Okay.
And then is everyone who's wearing armor keeping that armor? Thank you for the stat block for octopus, by the way. Like, how do you,
yeah.
You're gonna keep your armor on?
I plan to, yeah.
I do too. Mine's pretty basic armor.
Yeah. Well, Aramos, are you wearing heavy or medium armor?
Yeah, yep. I'm wearing plate. So.
What? With breathe water, you could just like Pirates of the Caribbean style, just walk across the ocean
That was
floor.
the plan. I wasn't gonna
Okay,
swim,
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's how I navigate underwater as well.
Dun, 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 dun,
We're
dun,
walking
dun.
at the bottom, right?
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, I guess. I mean,
That
if that's
moment
the
was-
plan, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't do what I was gonna do.
What were you gonna do?
For those of you guys who are a little more mobility challenged here in the water, I was thinking I could use a trick that my grandmother showed me once, and I could become a reef shark. I could also summon another reef shark to pull two of you. Potentially.
I'm kind of down.
We'd get there much faster.
I don't have
Marcus's
any...
eyes just light up like the story.
In
wrote
Marcus's
it.
Listen,
story,
if you
he's
ever
like-
want this for specific story elements, just let me know.
Yeah, it's,
If you need like a very useful monkey in a situation, I can turn into lots of animals. Grandma and I spent many a summer working on our animal shapes.
okay.
I can see Verkus, casually leaving out that it was summoned for him and just being like, "Yeah, I just found this shark and it started taking orders from me, and it was
That's
wild."
exactly where my mind was.
That's
Just
awesome.
Aquaman style. Just
Evil.
Standing on the shark as it goes. Like,
yeah.
Da-da. Awesome. Well, so do you guys go with the summon some reef shark route? I can pull up stat blocks for reef sharks real
I think
quick.
that'd be the fastest way to get to where we need to go.
It's try
I have the stat
there's
block.
speeds
I'll
like
send
something.
it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
There's speeds
Yeah,
like
it's
something
40.
crazy underwater. 40 underwater. Wow,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
terrifying.
It says that they're medium though, so I think we would cut their speed in half by holding on to them.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's still faster than me when I'm
Yeah.
swimming.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, with a
5 feet
strength
faster.
with a strength of 14.
I feel like,
And I mean, it
Aramos's
says here-
armor might slow him down, but
I'm like 349.
I think if they were pulling you guys based on what little I know of shark physiology in real life, and it said in the stat block these can grow up to 6 to 10 feet long, so I'm going to say that you summon like a bigger reef shark, like 9 or 10 feet long. If it's carrying someone wearing medium or heavy armor, instead of having that speed, I'm going to say it reduces it by 5 feet per turn for medium or 10 feet per turn for heavy. So it'd be 30 feet if it was pulling someone with heavy, 35 for someone with medium, and
I've got
someone
light armor.
Yeah, which is still faster than the 15
so-
feet that non-swimmers can go.
right.
Right, I'm fine with that.
Well, keep in mind, I am one of the reef sharks. So
Good.
the summoned one would probably be the bigger one for Aramos, and then I could pull Verkus.
Yeah.
Well, if you were summoning, you could choose to summon into a larger reef shark because you are choosing like some of the attributes of the animal you're shaping into. Especially with your experience doing this in your backstory, Kastan, I think you'd be able to choose whether you wanted to be a more nimble reef shark or a more bulky.
I truly don't think that Kassan has that fine-tuned control over this. I
Okay.
think that he's capable of doing it and like doing it for fun, but like never really put the thought into it to be like, if I really tried, I could be like a bulky shark instead of a thin little shark, or I could be a giant bird instead of this little whatever, No, he's like, I need to be a bird. I can do that. I need to do this. I can do that.
Any bird is fine.
Then the reef shark you summon for for someone to carry is going to be 9.5 feet long, and your reef shark that you morph into will be just shy of 6.5 feet.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Maybe I can double up with Aramos's shark since I'm not that heavy in the water, and I'm
There you
probably
go.
just grabbing onto the because I don't swim, so I'm probably grabbing onto the shark as I'm like just letting my my legs dangle back behind me.
Nice.
You use shape water to make yourself little skis.
I'm just like jet skiing this shark.
Jet skiing a shark. I love that. Well, as you guys are in the water, when you summon the sharks, Dallatar does go, ah! and then he realizes, like, oh wait, it's you, Kastan. It's you, Kastan, and a friend. What's your friend shark's name?
I reach out telepathically, and I'm like, I promise we won't eat you. This is just for fighting the crabs.
You go, oh wow! I never
shark-
thought we'd have sharks on our side. Wow!
Are we
And
going
this
to be
is my
fighting
friend-
other sharks?
I hope not. And this is my friend Clark the shark.
You see Dallatar go, hi, Clark the shark.
He waves his fin. He's like,
Veracus is just humming.
the theme song he needs for his story.
Nice. Well, yeah, Dallatar just starts going forward and goes, come on, guys. With those sharks rolling you on, or actually, never mind. He would jump on to like Kastan's shark head and kind of like rest on top of your head and go, lead the way. I'll tell you where to go. It's
Got your
only a
turtle
couple
hat.
hours from here.
Got your turtle hat back.
lead the way. I'll tell you where to go.
Perfect.
And then I'm assuming a couple hours in turtle time is not a couple of hours.
We'll find out.
Well, riding on the sharks, you actually find out that Dallatar is not very good at math, and so after
We're
about,
already there.
after about 40 minutes, you start seeing some kind of undersea like coral structures, and they seem to be growing in like height and complexity as you move forward. And Dallatar goes, these are the home bluffs. It means we're almost home. We'll be there in just a few minutes. I can't believe how fast we're moving. I've never traveled so quick. I feel like I'm flying, but in the water. Now, I do need all of you to make perception checks as you're moving.
Of course.
Of course.
Nat 20.
Nice.
That is a 27, but nat 20.
27, but a nat 20. Okay, let me pull. Wow, 27. That's impressive.
I got a 14, and I'll be right back while you do his perception real quick.
Perfect.
I also got a 14, and I have a +9 to perception.
Oh, nice.
I got a 6.
Ooh, a 6. Very nice. I totally forgot to pull up one.
You got like a jellyfish on your face or something?
Yeah.
I've got my goggles, or my eagle goggles, or whatever they're called.
Eagle's mantle?
Eyes of the eagle.
Eyes of the eagle.
Eyes of the eagle.
Yeah,
I don't know where I got Eagle's mantle from.
Oh. But yeah, that gives me advantage.
Nice. Well, so wait, so there was a 27 for Veracruz from a nat 20. What was tied in Kastan's?
Both were 14.
Both of us got a 14.
Nice. And Aramos, what was yours?
6.
6. Okay. So, as you guys are going, only Veracruz notices as you're looking around, taking in the kind of, off the distance, you can barely see in the darkness of the undersea water, these kind of cool structures of like corals and reefs and some rocks. And you're like, wow, this is going to be really cool to describe in my story. But you do suddenly see, just out of your peripheral vision, just some very slithery, quick movement around you, and your skin suddenly just like tingles as you're like, we're about to be ambushed. And with that nat 20, you get to take a surprise round. Everyone else, we're gonna fall into normal initiative.
Good for you, Veracruz.
As a trio of giant coral snakes erupt from the area around and ambush all of you. So
Oh,
I'm going to draw a rough map now because we're underwater and we're going to be moving in a 3D way. We're going to be a little
there's a
loose with the grid
Z-axis
map.
now.
Yeah, we're going to be a little loose with the movement on here. Like I'm going to use the graph paper, but we're going to be estimating distances to some degree. So I just want to make sure. So I've got Clark the shark here, and then I've got Kastan, and Dallatar is on Kastan. Kastan, who were you pulling?
Me.
I was pulling Berkus and Tide.
Okay, perfect.
I'm just gonna say my skin is crawling. I hate snakes so much. I've had so many conversations about snakes this week too that it's at an uncomfortable level.
I don't like snakes either. I really don't like spiders, and
spiders are the worst.
I'll edit this out of the video because it's not relevant, but I got hired once to be a sound guy on a commercial, and I show up and they were like, oh yeah, we're doing like this weird, like it was like a green screen app promo, whatever. And they were like, yeah, we're going to be doing like lots of snakes and tarantulas. And I was like, gross. And they were like, so for those shots, we don't need sound. Can you take this extra camera and get really close and like take photos? And I was like, I don't want to. But for the tarantulas, they got scared of all the lights. So they were the kinds that they could like use one of their hind legs, like huck their hairs at you, and they were like those hair needle cactus things. So we had to wear like face shields and like body armor as we're photographing them. And then they had like these giant pythons, and so they were like taking pictures with them, and I was like, well, I don't like snakes, but I have to.
You're literally shrinking in your chair. Maybe you should slow it with the story.
I'll slow it. I'm here.
Are you okay, Charles?
I'm good. Rochelle had told me how
you can never watch the movie Eight-Legged Freaks.
I've seen it, and the whole time I'm just going like this. No, so her folks live in South Dakota, and her dad also hates snakes, and like this giant bull snake had gotten into their garage or something. And he was telling us that he was like shooting it with a BB gun while her mom was attacking it with a shovel.
What?
And all I could think is like, with snakes, there's no kill quite like overkill. Snakes just really, I've had several close encounters with snakes. I was on a hike once and there was a rattlesnake on the side, and my father thought it was a great idea to try and pull me as close as possible to it.
Whoa.
And I was just like, I'm not comfortable.
I think that makes sense as to why you're not a fan of snakes.
Yeah.
Fun fact, my grandparents had a snake in their barn, and they went at it with a shovel and a shotgun, but the shotgun backfired. My grandpa ended up in the hospital. He's fine.
Shit. But no, the story's good. I'm just like,
don't look in the OOC general chat, Charles. This is a photo of me from that set.
Good to know.
Yes, I want to see.
See, and what's really funny is all of our conversation about like what we're writing, that would drive Rochelle nuts.
The sharks. Yeah.
She hates sharks.
This is awesome.
I was so nervous, but I was like, I need this photo opportunity because I need attention and validation. So they put the snake on me, and I was so nervous. And this thing's head is right by my face, and it's like huge. And the guy, the snake handler or whatever, was like, he's like, the snake can tell that you're upset because you don't like this. And I was like, I don't like this. And he was like, relax your body. And I was like, okay, so I relax it. I guess snakes like feel vibrations. So when my muscles relax, the snake relaxed. And I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. And then they're like, we got the photo. And I was like, get this thing the fuck off me. And then they did. Because, I mean, it weighed like 35 pounds. It was insane. It was huge.
I can only pretend to relax for so long to remove the snake.
I was like, please get it off. But, yes.
I've got a fun snake story, but for later.
Okay. Really quick, I need to write a new initiative tracker. Give me one moment. So we are rolling initiative.
Do you still want me to roll initiative as well?
Yes, but you'll get a surprise round like just for you because of your nat 20. So
okay, I'm really glad I get that surprise round.
Did you get a nat 1 on initiative?
I rolled a 3, so I have an 8 in initiative.
Okay.
Not so bad.
It's not too bad.
Also 6.
Jeez.
Oh, I have disadvantage actually. Hold on.
Oh no.
What? Why?
Exhaustion.
Oh no.
I got I got a
no.
10.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
also
God.
exhausted because I didn't sleep last night.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
Put
no.
disadvantage down.
And because of the constellation I'm under, my movement's actually reduced by 5 feet.
Oh, which is 10 underwater.
We are on the struggle bus.
No, I'm currently a reef shark, so instead
Yeah,
of 40,
human
I get
is being
35.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not bad.
I'm gonna roll
Jeez.
for myself and then for Carl.
Clark.
It's Carl with a K, by the way. Oh, I rolled 2 13s for my disadvantage. That's dope. So 17 for mine. 18 for Carl.
Carl's the
Clark.
shark?
Clark.
Yes.
Or Clark the shark. It's Carl or Clark?
I'm sorry, Clark. I don't know where I got Carl.
It's all good. I
It's
was like,
his middle
Carl's
name.
not a very sharky name, but you know.
Oh, it's his twin brother.
Ha. So I just want so I rolled for the giant sea snakes. I've got an 8 for Verkus, a 6 for Eremos. What was Tides?
10.
10, that's right. I had a 10 written down. And what was
We're having a great
Gaston's?
time.
17. What do you guys expect me to do? I'm a shark. I can't cast any more spells.
And what was Clark the Shark's?
18.
Nice.
Wow.
Did
Oh,
you
The one
use
time I roll well.
Did you use your sharks initiative?
Dex mod.
Because you get your animal shapes physical mods, right?
Yep.
You keep your mental mods.
Your hard stats are animal based.
Okay, then it'd be 14 for my initiative.
Oh, 14? Okay. Let me put that on there.
You get to keep your wisdom, int, and charisma.
Yeah.
And then let me roll for Dallatar
Just
here.
A shark going up to people, to like other animals and talking to them.
Okay.
Why am I more dexterous as an elf than a shark?
Well, so as these 3 snakes jump up at you, they're going to be about 40 feet away since Verkus spotted them early. And I'm drawing them on the map because they're pretty big. This is going to be number 1. And I'll send you guys the map momentarily so you can just kind of see where they're at in relation to you all. Excuse my not excellent snake drawings because I'm not good at drawing things.
Well, you can't be good at everything. So.
Oh, that was very nice. Thank you. Let me take a screenshot so it's a little easier, but I'm not super using the grid on this just to make it quick since we're doing the 3D movement also, but these are roughly 5 feet grid marked. So I'm putting this in the battle maps section as soon as my Discord wants to go. Sorry, my internet's going a little slow today. That's why my D&D Beyond's been loading slow also.
You're good.
But those 3 giant sea snakes are 1, 2, and 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, they're quite hefty. They're very long and spindly and undersea. And they have you guys notice that with they have like some yellow and orange markings on their otherwise dark green, dark blue scales, which indicates that they may be venomous. So with everyone's passive perceptions, you would all notice that. But Verkus, you get to go first, and then we will drop into the combat order. So what would you like to do?
Could I?
Underwater, no one can hear you scream. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true.
All right.
Oh, actually, I'm going to update the map really quick too with some cover from some of those on the seafloor,
Okay.
some of those rock structures I mentioned.
Nice.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike.
Nice.
Could you kick off the shark?
That's what I'm gonna do.
No.
So I'm gonna kick off the shark using my burst. And just go, sorry, Kastan. And
You hear telepathically in your head, ow.
Ow.
And just use my burst to go to the nearest snake. Is there one that's like within like the 30 feet range?
Yes, number 3. To
Okay.
your right. Yes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna burst towards that one.
Cool.
With Tabusa with me, and I'm going to just unload.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna use my. Oh dear.
Only Matthew. Maybe Josh saw that.
Well, I didn't catch it. What?
I was like, I'm gonna unload, and I was like, "Urgh."
Roll for
Okay.
athletics underwater. No, just kidding.
Not a sleight of hand.
Right.
Okay. So
Oh,
I'm gonna,
Rex, thank you for posting that. That'll be handy to reference. I'm gonna pull that
Yeah.
up here.
So I'm going to use my Sword of Vengeance
Nice.
and cheese.
I'll move you on the map over. I assume you're
Okay.
attacking towards its head there.
Oh, okay, yeah. I keep forgetting I get advantage on that first hit when I use my Zephyr
Zephyr
Strike.
Strike.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that's better. 19.
Oh, that hits for sure.
Okay.
These things, they're big, but they do not have crazy AC. They have an AC of
Yeah.
13. So
Okay. And then that means I'm gonna use Tabusa's cold.
nice.
What am I doing? D6. Okay, that's 9. That's 10, and then my D. So it is 9 points of piercing damage, 1 point of cold damage, and then 4 points of force damage for the first swing.
So that's 14 total.
14 total. And then I get my normal swing after that
Nice.
for a 13 exactly to hit.
Very nice.
I rolled a 4.
Oh,
So I rolled
I
a
thought you
4
got
and I
13
added-
for. thought you got 13 for damage, and I was like,
No.
dang.
No, 4 to hit. Or 4 plus 9 to hit, so 13.
Cool.
Sounds like disadvantage. You know?
And then another 9 points of piercing damage.
Nice. Okay. So
And
as you sink your blades into this snake and it kind of recoils in the water, you do feel that you've knocked it down by about a third of its HP with those 2 hits.
Right. And I just I'm gonna hold true, looking at him, just this sucks. I made a mistake.